Okay, hear me out. This may be a very unpopular opinion. Melissa McCarthy is the female Adam Sandler. Okay?
Oh, no.
Let me lay out my case.
I love Melissa McCarthy.
When she first started acting, oh my God, I love her so much.
Yeah.
She had a lot of funny roles, but as she continues on, you realize all of her characters are just slightly different versions of Melissa McCarthy. In this movie, for example, it's Melissa McCarthy with a southern accent. That's all she is, right? Great, Ghostbusters, be a dorky Melissa McCarthy. Oh, sweet, I can do that. But like a smart dorky. Yeah, I can get it. It's basically the same character as the spy, Melissa McCarthy. Welcome to the Rom-Com Rewind Podcast.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Devin.
And I love rewatching movies over and over again.
And I love romantic comedies.
So this is a show where we rewatch rom-coms, break them down a bit for you, maybe take a peek behind the curtain, dig beneath the surface, and decide, does it still hold up?
Today we have
Life as We Know It.
And make sure you follow us on Spotify, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, and as well follow us on Instagram. We have lots of conversations about what we should be doing next, and you can chime in and be like, hey, I want you to do this movie. But today we have Life as We Know It, directed by Greg Berlanti. Sarah actually loves this guy. She doesn't know, but she loves him. First off,
Do I?
he worked on Dawson's Creek.
Okay.
He also did Green Lantern, which was
Meh.
kind of shitty. Yeah. He did Love, Simon. More importantly, though, he is involved in all of those, what I would consider to be extremely lackluster CW DC comic shows.
Oh, I like those.
Like Arrow, The Flash,
Yeah.
Supergirl. He's involved in all of them.
I like them.
He's also he's involved in Riverdale
Okay.
and The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. So Life as We Know It is a story about Holly Berenson, played by Katherine Heigl. Off the top, she's set up by two friends, Allison and Peter Novak, played by Christina Hendricks and Hayes MacArthur. They set her up to go on a date with Eric Messer, played by Josh Duhamel. Lots of confusion about how to pronounce that.
Just love your French accent.
Behind the scenes. The date goes horribly. He's an asshole, it turns out. They don't even get to the restaurant. It's so bad. So that's kind of our setup. Time goes on. Allison and Peter, they get married. They have a kid, Sophie. Messer and Holly are actually very involved in Sophie's life, but they still hate each other.
They're the godparents.
They're the godparents. Then Allison and Peter, spoiler alert, they die in a car crash.
So sad.
And we learn they had made Messer and Holly joint guardians of Sophie. So these two people who despise each other, they're out living the single life. They're more or less told, surprise, you're now supposed to take care of your best friend's baby and live in their house. That they gave them the house. And it's just kind of a story of them navigating, how do we do this? How do we care for a child while also continuing to hate each other? Plot twist you knew was coming. They fall in love with each other. So
cute.
What were your thoughts on the movie?
I liked it. It's a good movie. I know I've said that for pretty much every
Yeah,
single
I know.
movie we've watched so far. But I really like this movie. Like I've watched it a few times, and every time like it's on TV or I see it, I'm like, oh, I love that movie. I have to watch it, and I'll watch it, and I really like it.
I thought it was a fine movie. Like
Fine movie.
if you want a B,
oh yeah,
like a B grade rom-com that you don't really have to think too hard while watching. You know all the character arcs that are going to happen, but it's still satisfying.
it's a cute movie.
The jokes are obvious, but you still laugh at them. I would say that it is the rom-com version of a pep and cheese pizza.
I like pep and cheese.
Well, you've had it many times before, and you know that you like it. And
That's
normally,
my go-to.
yeah, normally you want something a little bit more spicier. Like in my opinion, I don't always go to the pep and cheese, but if I'm just like, I don't want to be disappointed today, I'm gonna order a Life as We Know It. It's just like it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be good. So those are my thoughts.
I always order a pep and cheese.
Wow.
I really like it.
Gotta spice shit up.
I
girl.
always know it's good.
So
you know?
this movie is in your wheelhouse. This is the pep and cheese
a Sarah movie.
Wow.
Yeah. I always like, it's a happy ending. It's a good movie. I didn't say it was a great movie.
Right. It's
Yeah.
pep
it's
and
a happy,
cheese is good.
Other
It's not
than,
great.
the parents passing away, which is very sad. it's a nice movie. It's a happy movie otherwise.
Can we talk about that? Because it's been a long time since I watched this movie. For some reason, I'm going to blame Katherine Heigl on it. But I thought it was like kind of a knocked up premise. So they set up the characters, Holly Berenson, Eric Messer. That's fine. 15 minutes in, I'm thinking, okay, when are they going to have sex? Because she's got to get pregnant and they end up with a surprise kid together, right? That's where I thought the plot was going because it's like knocked up.
Oh, yeah. You forgot that they die in a car crash, right?
And then
like,
the parents
yes,
die in a car crash.
You actually, at one point, thought we were watching Knocked Up, which was, I was like, no, Devin, we are not watching that movie. That's to come. However, that's not the premise of this one. I was like, they die. You're like, what? They die? I'm like, yeah.
I'm sitting here waiting for Seth Rogen to show up, and I'm like, where's Seth?
God.
Why is this Josh Duhamel guy?
Okay, so in the first scene of the movie, Holly's on, like you said, the disastrous date with Messer.
Yeah.
He shows up an hour late, which she is totally a type A person, and he's totally a type B to Z.
More like a type D, like whatever gets my D laid is kind of his.
True. Yes.
Just came up with that just now.
I liked it. So when they're about to leave for the date, he pulls out a bike helmet.
Yeah.
She's clearly wearing a dress and won't be able to ride the motorcycle. She suggests that they drive in her very small smart car. A man getting into a small smart car, or just a very small car in general. How do you feel about this? Is this emasculating?
I think Eric Messer thought it was emasculating in the movie.
100%. His face was like, what the
It reminds me of, like when did this come out? This was like 2010, right?
Yeah.
I think back then it was easy to take shots at like Priuses and smart cars. Like I remember the movie The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
They're driving around in the Prius. And Mark Wahlberg's like, I literally feel like I'm inside a vagina right now. I feel like it might have been kind of like trendy to make fun of those cars if you're a guy back then.
I think so, yeah.
Now I'm just kind of it. Wow, I'm gonna sound like such a loser. It probably gets great gas mileage, so I'm like, fair enough, guys. Why not own a smart car?
Well, yeah, it's a lot safer than a motorcycle.
Yes, 100%. With that said,
yeah,
I will take a shot at a guy from my hometown who there's this summer festival thing, like kind of like a fair in this town. And this one year, like a bunch of teenagers got in trouble for like burning down a gazebo. So the next day,
oh wow,
oh yeah, stuff was getting real between these two high schools. And the next day, the police were out in force, and they had a lot of ghost cars around. This poor guy started some shit, and some cops swarmed him, and it ended up that they had a smart car ghost car. And everybody made fun of him for being put into this smart car.
I didn't think they had a back seat.
I don't think they do.
They stuck him in the trunk.
I just I heard about it. Some people back then it was flip phones. So we didn't have good photo evidence of it.
It was like super grainy.
Yeah, but that was the joke at school the next day. Like, what a loser, got arrested in a smart car. That's a step above a bicycle cop.
I think that would be in your yearbook, the most memorable moment from high school. That would be your most memorable moment. Would be getting put in the back seat of
the non-existent back seat.
Yes,
I still don't really get
car.
the logistics of that.
That would be my most memorable moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so like you said, they didn't even make it out of the parking spot. They didn't even make it to the restaurant. He decides while in the car before leaving to take a phone call to set up a booty call.
Yeah, that's my dude.
And says to her that, oh, well, it's my sick friend and I have to go and take care of her. And she replies with, are you going to go heal her with your magical penis?
Yeah, he is.
I burst out laughing at that. But my question to you is, have you ever set up an exit strategy before going on a date?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you always have some kind of an exit strategy just in the event that this person is a psychopath.
Especially if it's like you don't know the person.
I mean, I never really thought too hard about it. I was always like, okay, let's go in here, and if she's kind of weird, we just dip. I always thought I was a pretty good actor, though, so I didn't have anybody like, hey, give me a call and say that my grandma fell over or something. You know, like some people have these very elaborate schemes. I always thought I could just lie my way out of anything. Is that bad? Am I a bad person?
I mean, I don't think you're too bad, because on the flip side of that, I'm trying to think, I do recall having my girlfriends, when I'm on a date, be like, text me or call me and be like, how's the date going? Like, do you need me to get you out of it?
Right, yes, girls do that, right? It's
or
1 hour in, just give me a call to see how things are.
Yeah, or we'd be at like a club like a dance club or something, and if a guy asks to dance with us or whatever, and they're dancing and we don't want to dance with them anymore, we always had a hand signal to our girlfriends.
I feel like you're a baseball coach.
It was I can't even remember what it was, but we would just kind of like do that
like rubbing
sign,
your nose, pulling your ear,
yeah, something like that. And then my girlfriends would know, and they'd be like, "Oh, we gotta go save Sarah,"
Stranger
and then they'd come and like save me and be like, "Oh, we're going to the bathroom," or "Oh, we're going to get a drink," and then they'd save me. So I think that's kind of what we did. So I guess maybe girls have more exit strategies on dates than guys do.
Well,
so
yeah, I think
Messer
you
is
need
an asshole.
Yes, yeah. Like I've never. Wow, I don't think I've ever planned like a booty call for after a crappy date.
You mean right in front of your date?
Certainly not right in front of them. There maybe have been dates that didn't go well that I was like, I wonder if so-and-so's up, but it's never like thought out, and it's never during the date that you make those plans.
Yeah, no, right in front of her.
No,
like that was
horrible.
low.
I want to talk about Katherine Heigl
Okay.
a little bit. Is she actually a likable character in this movie? I think she's fallen victim to everybody thinks she's horrible behind the scenes. We've heard so many stories about how people hate her on set.
Well, I think she's somewhat difficult to work with is what I think those articles say.
Yeah. So watching this movie, when she's ever like kind of whiny, like a little bit of a diva, it just rubs me the wrong way because I think that's how you are in real life. And it makes me not like your character. Does that make sense? Like Chevy Chase, for example, I know he's an asshole. So now I can't really watch anything with Chevy Chase in it because I'm like, but you're kind of a dick. So like I don't really like what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've heard those things about Katherine Heigl, and it's definitely shone a new light on her.
Mm-hmm.
Is she really that crappy kind of thing? I don't know. I still liked her character. I didn't hate her.
You did like her
Yeah,
character still?
I did.
Hey, I have
Yeah.
a little piece of me was like,
Because I guess it's like me wanting and wishing that she is a good person, like that she is a nice person, and that like she's liked her characters, because her characters are always pretty nice.
Looking back at the articles, I think it was blown a little bit out of proportion.
I agree with you.
Because like she
completely.
complained about the writing on Grey's Anatomy. I know you love it.
Yeah.
I don't think she's specifically wrong.
Well, it's like a medical soap opera.
Yeah, it's a medical soap opera. It's probably going to have some shitty writing.
Yeah.
And then it was, I think Knocked Up was the other movie that people said she was a little bit difficult behind the scenes. But that was literally how they said it. Like, ooh, she's a little bit difficult. And people...
I think it painted her with the same brush, right? Like across every project that she did.
Yeah. Well, then people brought out the pitchforks.
Yeah.
Because you can't be difficult when Seth Rogen's around with that laugh. You know? How can you have a bad time on that set?
Yeah. And so like I mean I like to think that I still enjoy her characters that she plays.
Okay.
Now let's talk about the fact that not only do their best friends make them Sophie's godparents, but also her legal guardian if they die, which they, in fact, unfortunately do. Shouldn't they have told them this little tidbit before? Like, hey, we're doing our will. By the way, we know that you're her godparents, but could you also be her legal guardian if anything were to happen to us?
You'd think it would come up in conversation.
Yeah, and the fact that they're complete opposites, I feel like for some reason they wanted to put them down as their guardians, obviously, but like, were they always planning to get them together even though their one and only date was a disaster? Like they could have just given Sophie to Holly.
Sure.
Was it a conversation or an argument between the two saying like, well, I want my best friend to be the person. No, I want my best friend to be the person. Like,
I think it was none of the above. I think, no. I think, I mean, we all know how new parents are.
Yeah.
I think they just had baby brain, and one of them wrote down, yeah, Messer works? Okay, Messer works. A week later, the other one's like, Holly works, right? And they're like, I feel like we had this conversation, but yeah, Holly works. And then the lawyer's like, actually, they wrote down both your names. They just f***ed up, I think. I want to shout out the fashion faux pas here.
okay.
I used to look back at some of my style choices.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty embarrassed of myself.
Oh, yeah.
I used to be like a beanie, a
I
toucan
knew you were
t-shirt
going
guy.
here.
Yeah, I used to wear the beanie when it was relatively warm out, warm enough that I could wear a t-shirt.
So you wore beanies in the summer.
Yeah, I shudder at the thought. Holly in this movie makes me feel so much better about those fashion choices, which were happening around the same time. She was wearing a beanie at work, the place she owns, while also wearing a blazer and a button-up blouse.
Would that be like a
Why? That's a business
business
casual
casual
beanie.
Yeah,
a business casual beanie.
business casual beanie? I don't
'Kay.
like it.
There were 3 scenes where she was wearing a beanie.
Yeah, I hated it.
May I remind you, this movie was based in where?
I don't know.
Atlanta.
Oh, yes, it was.
In
Yes,
the
yes, yes.
summer.
In the summer, yeah.
Why are you wearing so many beanies?
Well, like, because
Is she from Portland originally? Like, I don't understand.
I don't know.
Giving some Seattle vibes?
But let's remember, you wore beanies in the summer.
Yeah.
So it was clearly on trend in 2010.
It was on trend.
Because I think the first time I saw this movie, it was like, oh, she looks so good in a beanie. Looking back, I'm like, oh my God, why is she
Why are
wearing
you doing
a beanie?
that? Yes.
Good God.
I was in that fashion faux pas range, and
Yeah.
she makes me feel better about those because she looked equally as stupid in this movie. So
She
thank you,
did.
Katherine Heigl. I appreciate it.
And I mean, it's not like she's going to bring back the beanie.
No, that did nothing to
Like,
bring back
that
the
did
beanie.
nothing for me.
No.
I'm like, I don't want to go out and buy a beanie right now. I don't even know who would sell a beanie right now.
I mean, I still buy them, but it's winter wear, though.
Right, exactly. It's
Nice.
winter wear. I feel like beanies are no longer like every store carrying them. Let's chat about the neighbors. Once they've moved into the neighborhood, so once Holly and Messer have moved into the neighborhood, the neighbors stop by with casseroles, desserts, etc., etc.
Neighborly
And
things.
yeah, and
they
they
were really trying to snoop, though.
well, yes, they are so nosy, but they all love Messer. The jogging scene, let's talk about that, where all the women in the neighborhood know exactly when he's going to go jogging, and they all proceed to be outside doing something in order to see him stretch, not a bad view, and then go on his run. One neighbor in particular even joins him on his jog.
Oh my God, that was annoying.
So, do you think he does that on purpose?
Absolutely.
Okay,
I don't even need you to finish. Absolutely.
Okay, so I was gonna say, does he know all the ladies are watching him? I mean, Melissa McCarthy's character's out at the mail, picking up her mail and going, "Oh my God, hi Messer."
Hey, Messer.
Yeah, and then the other neighbor who joins him for the jog is like, "Oh my God," in her like juicy like couture matching jumpsuit, like, "Oh hey, I didn't know you jogged." Yeah, man, girl, you knew he jogged every single morning at 9-10 a.m.
Of course.
And so what leads me into this next part is that he knows that he's being watched. So we have neighbors
I knew you were going to bring these guys up.
down the street who don't work out in their backyard. They work out on the sidewalk.
Well, they work out shirtless on
Yes,
the
they
sidewalk.
Work out shirtless on the sidewalk.
A throughway. Like, we live on a dead-end street, but it connects to a fairly popular throughway between two main streets.
Yes.
And yeah, they work out shirtless there incessantly all the time,
They do.
guys.
I know they do. And it's comical to me because I'm driving and I'll see them out there. Not a bad view.
Okay.
However,
okay, all right.
However, I'm just like thinking to myself, I'm like, you know that there's a lot of cars that drive by here that are looking at you working out. Like, you very well could go work out in your backyard, in your fenced backyard,
Yeah.
but you're choosing to work out on your sidewalk shirtless. Like, we know why you're doing that.
They do it so much that there was one time I was driving down the street and I didn't see them, and I thought to myself, wow, they're not out today. And I kid you not, it might have been the angle, but it appeared that one of them had literally hopped out of the bushes. And I was like, oh shit, there he is. And he was shirtless.
He did. He
was shirtless again.
Oh my God, it was very. They were hiding in the bushes.
Why? Oh man, if they could put an outdoor shower, if the city would let them put an outdoor
They
shower,
probably would.
they absolutely would. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Shout out to those guys.
Moving on to.
Oh, okay.
Does having a baby with you make you more desirable to women?
Oh yeah, so there's the thing where Messer
Messer in the movie uses Sophie as a pickup method. He actually picks up women at the grocery store while he's shopping. What's the most creative thing you've done or said to pick up a girl?
I mean, I have never had a child.
No, yes,
so I've never
yes,
stolen
yes.
a baby from somebody to pick up.
Animals are cute too.
Animals are cute. I've never used an animal either. I have, however, absolutely lied about my job and title to
What?
pick up. Yeah.
No. Okay, tell me.
It was actually at my cousin's wedding.
Okay.
Yeah, there was somebody there,
Oh.
and I used to work for this radio station that was pretty high profile. I was a part-time, basically like a groupie, like I was a tech. I was promo staff, and I would go and I would set up shit for them. But the business itself carried a little bit of weight to it. So I was kind of macking on this girl, and she's like, "Hey, where do you work?" And I told her where, and she said, "Oh, wow, what do you do there?" And instead of saying part-time promotions, I said promotions director.
Wow.
I run the promo department. I was probably 19 at the time, but she bought it. Hook, line, and sinker, she bought it. Yeah.
What?
Oh, I think her friend was like, I don't know if he's like, I don't know about that.
That's amazing.
But she was in, and
wow. Hook, line, and sinker.
it didn't really end up going anywhere because it was the cousin's wedding. So I didn't
Right.
want to be like,
That guy.
yeah, I didn't want to be that guy, but I kind of wanted to be that guy a little bit. So I took a shot. I think if I really went for it, it worked. But yeah, I've lied about my job
Wow.
to get some action.
Okay.
Have you? Oh, okay, wait. Let's switch that around to if you see a guy with a baby. Because let me see the quote that Messer actually says. He says, "Women stare at guys with a baby like guys stare at a woman with a rack." Is that accurate? If you see a good-looking guy with a baby, are you more drawn to him?
I mean, I don't I don't know if
Oh,
it's
that's a
I don't know
yes.
if it's the
Come
baby
on.
or if it's like the guy, like the cute guy. 'Cause like I guess if he's cute, and I mean I guess if he has a baby,
Is there some subconscious female instinct that you're like,
Maybe-
he can be a,
well,
I
I
don't want to say
know.
daddy, but he can.
I don't know. Oh my god. I mean, I guess I would look at his finger to see if he had a ring on.
And would you then?
But like if it's a little baby, like clearly he's tied up.
Okay, whoa, scenario.
Look.
You see a good-looking guy with a baby at the grocery store.
Mhm.
You kind of give him a once-over because he's good-looking,
Mhm.
and he sees that, and he kind of, approaches you with an innocent conversation. You guys get talking, and you say, "Oh, wow, love the baby. Like, where's the mom?" And he says, "Actually, my best friends died in a car crash,
God,
and
that's
they
so sad
made
and
me
morbid.
the guardian of this baby, and it's just me
And I
little
am
Soph."
single.
Yeah, and I am single, and it's me and Soph taking on the world.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah, you're into it. Here we go. Hell yeah, you're into it.
There is a scene in the movie where Holly is on a date with the pediatrician. Can't remember his name.
Yes.
And he takes her to a very fancy restaurant and has a table in the back room of the place. I think it's kind of in the kitchen or just kind of off the kitchen. Is that romantic to you? Like getting a special table in the kitchen area?
Well, first of all, how dare you disrespect my what should have been Dr. Sam by forgetting
Oh,
his name,
Sam.
played by
Yes.
Josh Lucas.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Josh Lucas.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's not romantic because I feel like that's a power move that a guy does with a girl.
I
right?
think it is a power move.
So, having worked in the restaurant industry, that is a very clean kitchen.
Yes.
I can only imagine the conversation. Like there's a lot of profanity that happens in a kitchen. There's a lot of shouting. There's a lot of angry people in kitchens.
and I feel like you
from
can't.
my experience,
I feel like you
anyways.
can't even have a conversation because it's going to be so loud.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. I think it's a power move, but I think in execution probably doesn't work out as well as they make it seem. Right? Okay, I want to shout out the guys who listen to this podcast. If you don't want to have kids, but you also don't know how to tell your significant other that you don't want to have kids,
Are you trying to tell me something?
just watch this movie. No, I'm saying like watching this movie probably killed every single sperm cell in my testicles
Oh my
throughout
god.
the course of the movie. Just these two people who are single, and then boom, we got to raise a kid. Oh my lord. And I don't think my sperm is coming back anytime soon. I might be infertile for at least a month watching those two try to raise a child.
It was cute.
Oh, it was cute. It was a good movie, but like there are many moments like when she's got the shit on her face when the
Shit happens, you know. The amount of stories that I've heard of like friends with kids who explosions of shit and fountains of pee,
yeah.
you know, when they've taken the diaper off, it just happens. Okay, so I died watching this next scene. So when they're all being cute together and they're kind of dating, and Messer lets Holly ride his motorcycle and she completely crashes it. Then a bus runs over it. My stomach was like, oh my God, what just happened?
Yeah.
What would you do if this happened to your car or motorcycle?
See, this is the most inaccurate part of this movie.
Okay.
Because that is an immediate cut. We're done here. That's the end
You're
of it.
cut.
You
You're done.
destroyed my
You're out.
motorcycle? Get out. Yeah, get out. It was a triumph too, wasn't it?
I think, yeah.
Get fucked. You're done.
Yeah, it was a triumph. Lots of triumphs in the movies. I think that's like the go-to rom-com movie, motorcycle.
I want to shout out the real crime of this movie. It's the realization that Christina Hendricks, she plays Sophie's mom, Allison Novak. The real crime is, how has she never been the love interest in a romantic comedy?
Good point.
I love her. Every time she is on screen, especially when she was on screen with Josh Duhamel, Katherine Heigl, Hayes MacArthur, for whatever reason, I'm just drawn to her. You're not even the star of the show. You're literally in this movie for the first 15 minutes, but I was like, oh, what's Christina Hendricks
Yeah, it was
doing
such
here?
a small part. I actually forgot she was even in the movie.
Where are her rom-coms?
She was doing Mad Men. Well, I don't know if she was still doing it, but
Yeah, well, in 2010, she might have been wrapping up Mad Men, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's in Good Girls now on Netflix.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Because clearly I am in love with her. Shout out to Christina Hendricks. Look me up. What else you got?
Quick facts.
Yeah, let's do quick facts.
So Sophie the baby was actually played by a set of triplets.
What?
Yes, they all played different scenes throughout the movie.
What? Okay, that's strange.
I know. I was like, okay, wait. Usually you see like twins
Mary
or
Kate and Ashley Olsen, right?
Yeah.
Triplets? Are you kidding?
So their names are Alexis, Brooke, and Bryn Claggett.
That must have been a weird casting call. Hey, we want triplets.
I don't know.
There can't be that many out there.
No, there can't be.
Yeah,
But
it
they
seems
would have
pretty
had to play like over amount of time. Like they would have had to have specific scenes done, because like when she's 2 in the movie, she looks a lot older than just like baby Sophie throughout the rest of the movie. So Katherine Heigl was the one who campaigned to have Josh Duhamel. Did I say it right?
Duhamel.
That sounds very nice. Cast as her co-star after the studio had doubts about his comedic ability.
You doubting my boy Josh Duhamel? Come on. I thought he was perfect in this role.
I know, me too. I really liked him in this movie.
You know what, though? He looks and I feel acts so much like Timothy Olyphant. So I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like there's 3 guys who look like Josh Duhamel.
In real life, Katherine Heigl grew up with an adopted sister and then later adopted 2 daughters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And coincidentally, she became a mother in real life just before this movie was made.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, that's big.
Messer in the movie is seen wearing a University of North Dakota Sioux shirt.
Okay.
Josh is from North Dakota.
Oh, so he just had that one, you know,
Kicking
in his
around.
closet. Yeah, kicking around.
In the back of his closet.
I mean, shout-outs to all the sports clothing
Oh, yeah.
that
he
was in
wore
this
tons
movie.
of
We
it.
had some Atlanta Hawks stuff. He had an Atlanta Thrashers hat. They don't exist anymore.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they moved to Winnipeg.
Really?
Yeah. The Winnipeg Jets are the Atlanta
Whoa,
Thrashers.
what? I didn't know that. That's cool.
Okay, best scenes?
Yeah.
What do you got?
Okay. My best scene, my favorite scene, is the walking scene. So Sophie is about to take her first steps, and Messer is on baby duty, and Holly is taking a bath and relaxing upstairs. Messer yells up to her that Sophie's about to walk and that she needs to get down here ASAP. She yells, stall the baby. I don't care what you do. You just need to make sure that she doesn't take her first steps. So, of course, Messer decides that the only way to stall is to push the baby so that once Holly gets down from being upstairs, Sophie will have gone back up to walk.
Sure. Yeah. I love that. I've talked about this before. As the guy, you always push that baby over. You either push the baby over or you lie about it.
I
No,
think
she
you
didn't
lie
walk.
about it. Lying is way better than pushing your baby.
Yeah, so I've talked about this on the air before, and the vast majority of people either push the baby over or lie about it, to the point where like people at daycares would admit, they're like, oh yeah, if a baby walks for the first time at daycare, we
What?
always lie about it.
Seriously?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. I mean, I guess I could see it.
You don't want to, like, you're, as a mom, you left your
Yes.
baby in their care, and
Yeah,
they're like,
yeah.
oh my god, the first steps happened
You
while you were at
missed
work.
it. You
You're a
missed
terrible
it.
mother.
Yeah.
In fact, this one girl was like, we honestly try to set it up so the baby walks to the parent when they arrive.
Oh my god. But
Right.
you got to think, okay, this baby's had some practice. She's walking way too well.
But, I mean, you would
She's
think
not holding anything.
observers probably realize, but the parent is just like, oh my god.
Yeah, overwhelmed with joy.
Oh, she's walking towards
Oh my
me.
god, best day ever.
Yeah, my best scene is the grocery store scene.
Ooh, okay. Oh, I liked that scene. That was cute.
Okay, so Messer and Holly go to the grocery store. Immediately, Holly realizes, yo, every one of these young honeys is checking out my dude Messer.
At
And
this
this is
point,
how
at this point, they're not dating.
at this point they're not dating, but she realizes this is how he picks up.
Yeah.
And she asks him, why don't you hit me with a little bit of that sauce? Like, I want to see how you do it. And he pretends to not be down. He's like, I'm not going to hit on you. And he picks up this thing, acai?
Yes, acai.
And he's like, what is that? And she pronounces it correctly. And then he says, wow, you must have a gift for language. She starts like, oh, well, you know, I took Spanish until blah, blah, blah. Boom! And she realized, like, oh, my God, he hit on me. And it worked.
Yeah.
Guys got some game. and I think, like, as the audience, I really like this movie. Because we're going through the arc of they hate each other.
Yeah.
So much.
So
And then
much.
there's-
and they're
there's-
so different.
Yeah, and then there's trauma in their lives that thrusts them together. They start to resent each other, I think, a little bit. Because it's stressful and difficult going from single to being a parent and also being a parent with
And
the
being
person.
a unit. Yeah.
Yeah. And around this point of the movie, we're seeing kind of the light at the end of the tunnel. They're both getting a handle on things. They're both kind of starting to enjoy each other's company. And I just really enjoyed this scene of like, oh, wow, they kind of work together, doubled down by the entrance of my dude, Dr. Sam, who
Oh,
asks
yeah,
Holly
that's
out.
Right. And you can see it on Messer's face too. He's like, oh, like I think that was like the first time where you were like, oh, okay, the spark's there between them.
Exactly.
They could end up together.
Honorable mentions.
Okay, so I have one honorable mention. Melissa McCarthy. I completely forgot she was in this movie.
What? That's your honorable mention.
Yes, I completely forgot she was in this movie. Like, I saw her and I was like, hey, wait, that's Melissa McCarthy? Hold on. I completely forgot she was even in this freaking movie. I feel like you're going to say something.
Get fucked!
Why?
I completely disagree with you.
Why?
Okay, hear me out. This may be a very unpopular opinion. Melissa McCarthy is the female Adam Sandler. Okay?
Oh, no.
Let me lay out my
I
case.
love Melissa McCarthy.
When she first started acting, oh my God, I love her so much.
Yeah.
She had a lot of funny roles, but as she continues on, you realize all of her characters are just slightly different versions of Melissa McCarthy. In this movie, for example, it's Melissa McCarthy with a Southern accent. That's all she is, right? Great. Ghostbusters, be a dorky Melissa McCarthy. Oh, sweet, I can do that. But like a smart dorky. Yeah, I can get it. It's basically the same character as the spy, Melissa McCarthy.
I see your point. However, I don't agree with you. I really like her. And I don't think she's an Adam Sandler.
You know what? She's
I
not, because
can't
he
do
has
it.
a tiny bit of range. He did
No.
Precious Gems.
Are you kidding me?
Okay, like Precious Gems, he's like, whoa, I'm a serious actor, but every comedy
No.
role is just Adam Sandler doing the Adam Sandler
Oh,
or
I
like
hate
whatever
it.
the fuck it is.
It
And
was
he's the same guy in every movie.
it was great like in the 90s, early 2000s, but like I can't do it anymore.
Melissa McCarthy was great in the
No.
mid 2000s and early 2010s.
I agree. I disagree.
And now watching back, because this movie was 2010, I'm watching back and I'm like, wow, she is the same character from like 6 different movies. So that's my
That's your
Melissa
bugaboo?
McCarthy argument. My honorable mention is Hayes MacArthur.
Okay. He plays the dad, right?
He plays Peter Novak.
Okay.
He's my honorable mention because he's one of those guys where you see his face and you're like, I vaguely know that face. And he is actually in one of our favorite shows,
Really? What one?
How I Met Your Mother.
What?
He's in 2 episodes of How I Met Your Mother.
As who?
There's an episode in season 3 and season 5, particularly the season 3 episode. Barney is laying out the case how you can't date somebody you're really close to in real life. And he references Robin's coworker. I think he was like he was the sports guy.
Yes, okay.
And how they start dating and it's great.
It wasn't the terrible guy. The anchor.
No. It was the sports guy who starts getting really, really upset about their relationship crashing and burning, and he talks about it on the air, kind of thing. And he gets really, really emotional.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember.
I think he was like Iron Chris Stevens or something like that. The sports guy.
Oh my god.
That was Hayes MacArthur.
Okay, I knew I recognized him, but I couldn't place him.
You look at his IMDb, and it's like 2 episodes of this show, and like, he was a guy in this, and he had, 10 minutes in this other. Much like this movie.
Yeah.
He was literally in it for like 10 minutes. I vaguely know who you are.
Maybe he likes those roles.
He is a comedian.
Oh, okay.
So I think he kind of just gets can you be funny for like 10 minutes?
Right.
And he's like, yeah, I could be funny for 10 minutes. That's basically him. The What Should Have Beens.
Sure. I actually don't have any What Should Have Beens this time.
You don't have Dr. Sam?
Oh, I forgot about Dr. Sam.
Played by Josh Lucas?
Yes.
He is, I think, the only person who really doesn't end up with
Yeah,
anybody.
I actually forgot.
Yeah, he is Holly's other love interest.
Yes.
They obviously don't end up together, but let's lay out the case for Dr. Sam. He's a pediatrician. He's charming, fairly good looking, but otherwise I would call him a beige cardigan. He's not that exciting, but he works.
And he's what Holly would have wanted before Messer.
Correct.
Before the baby. Before the
safe
unit.
And good
family
looking.
unit. Yeah. Yeah, he's safe and good looking, yeah.
So what is a female character who is also a beige cardigan?
Who?
I laugh because we shit all over this character, but Dina from Love, Wedding, Repeat. Because she is by far the most boring part of an extremely funny movie. She's not exciting.
I actually think that's a really good choice.
Yeah, I know.
I don't usually agree with you.
Because she's not exciting, but she's pretty, and it kind of works. He's not exciting, but he's pretty, and it kind of works. Thirst factor.
Okay. Quick, Katherine Heigl, 7.5, but the beanie hats.
Ooh,
So
the
brings her
beanie hats.
down.
Yeah, they drop her down.
Yeah. Josh,
Do we
9.
see him fully shirtless in this movie?
9.
Okay, 9 for Josh.
Yeah, he's good looking. I like him.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. A 9 for Josh seems like it makes sense.
Plus, you throw him in a grocery store with a baby. Hello.
My thirst factor is gonna be, I really don't find Katherine Heigl attractive at all. I'm gonna give her like a 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I was being nice, but
Christina Hendricks, 9.5.
I was going to say, you're going to give her a 10.
Pretty close to a 10. Yeah. If she was in more scenes, it's just a quantity issue with her in this movie.
Quantity issue.
And yeah, Josh Duhamel, I'm going to drop him down a 0.5 because we can't really figure out how to pronounce his last name. So like an 8.5. And he doesn't really take
Fair
his
enough.
shirt off, does he? So I think we see him shirtless a little bit, but it's not like
I think a little bit, but yeah.
we don't get that one shot of like,
Yeah, it's not a
"Here's my
scene where
rippling
like
abs."
where the shirt is off.
Rewatchability.
I put it at 7.5.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pep and cheese pizza. So how often do you want to have that? Maybe like once every 2 or 3 months?
Yeah.
Throw a pep and cheese in there. So I'm going to give it a 7. Like it's solid, really rewatchable.
It is rewatchable.
See, but you and I are different because I don't like pep and cheese all the
I
time.
love pep and cheese.
And you only gave it a 7.5.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, fair enough. This has been the Rom-Com Rewind podcast of Life as We Know It. Make sure you follow us on Spotify so you're updated on new episodes. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, really. If there's a follow, subscribe, or like button, hit all those. Give us a review if you like. And as well, follow us on Instagram at RomComRewind. And this has been Life as We Know It.
Thanks for listening.